Do you miss playing Dungeons & Dragons, or just have a hard time finding a group in your hometown? Maybe you just wish you could play more. On Discord, we created a community of over 100 people who are playing D&D around the clock. By integrating Discord and D&D Beyond, we're able to provide an immersive experience that is the first of its kind. You can create a character from 1st to 15th level, and then roleplay 24/7 in our Discord channels while combating monsters, crafting weapons, training new skills, and searching for items across our campaign world. You'll also have the chance to participate in random combat encounters and go on monthly virtual quests. Ever wanted to try your hand at being a Dungeon Master? Or maybe you're an experienced Dungeon Master and just want the chance to run more adventures. As a community DM, you can run encounters and virtual quests for the community based on monthly modules written by our very own accomplished plot team. Join us.
Join us.
Check it out.
Join the Discord.
Join us!
Join us.
And let's create incredible stories together.
Is money really worth all this?
It's not about the credits. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
I bet you have.
You're not getting the drop on the villains with sounds like that. Your game needs Sirenscape. The Sirenscape online player has a huge library of epic sounds for any situation. Epic games need epic sound. Go to Sirenscape.com to get started today.
Hey, Dr. Dane at Cream Tattoo Supply here. Do you need a remedy for your corporate gouging woes and your tattoo supplies? Well, I'm here to tell you, I've got the solution. We've got cream cartridges. And I know what you're saying. Hey, Dr. Dane, is it gonna cost a lot? It's not gonna cost a lot. It's gonna cost just the right amount. Economically friendly. Do you want to support a tattooer-owned and operated business? I know I do. Head on over to creamtattoosupply.com or come to our storefront at 1102 East Prospect Street in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Dr. Dane never has and never will be a doctor. If you or someone you love has been affected by monopoly tattoo companies, please go to creamtattoosupply.com for your supply acquisitions.
It is said that the ancient Forge Masters would infuse a part of their souls into their creations, imbuing courage, strength, and grace with each strike of the hammer. But somewhere, deep in a dwarven hall, the last of the Forge Masters is hard at work.
What is up, party people, and welcome back to the Incubus, where we get a whole bunch of tattooers and our obligatory shop hand, and we venture into the world of Eberron. Except we're not in the Incubus this time. There's some things that have changed. But before we get to that, we got some announcements to make. I want to thank the amazing companies and people that have made this all possible. Dungeons and Dragons for making the game that we all get to live in and make memories in on a table with pieces of paper and our friends. To our first title sponsor, Beetle and Grimm, our friends over there, and contributing with the gold edition box for Eberron and just being super supportive and always making amazing stuff. Ink Addict for making all the Incubus merchandise, where if you want to go into the chat in the description, there will be a link there where you can go and get your own individual Incubus shirt that one of us have designed. Also a massive thanks to Forged Gaming. They will be, in this episode, giving away a dice and dice box. If to one lucky person, get into the chat and type Incubus dice. Only enter once. If you enter more than once, you will be disqualified. Thank you guys at Forge for making like these awesome Forge dice that we all got to use for all of this. They're super dope. Also, Hero Forge for helping create our minis that are like that Jason designed and that we got to help and color, and they're just super cool. You can go to heroforge.com and like kind of characterize and individualize each of them. You okay over there?
Yeah, Magvar deserves a kiss.
Now kiss. Now kiss. Now Keith.
I'm slutty. You're the slutty.
Oh my god. Cream Tattoo Supply while they're playing with action figures. Cream Tattoo Supply for, making awesome tattoo goodies that I use them all the time. They actually deliver to the shop and come in and hang out. Dane and Josh and the entire team there, super good group of people making quality tattoo products. It's tattooer owned, provided, and just good shit.
Yeah.
Sirenscape from creating the ambiance of the sounds and allowing us to use the immersive experience that they provide. Thank you guys so much. And that's the sponsors alone, like you guys have helped create what we're making and believing in what we do. I also want to give like a huge shout out to a personal friend, Mac, who works at Wormwood. Love you, buddy. Mac. Oh my God, Dix.
Where'd that come from?
Whoa.
We've never done that.
Whoa. No, never.
I've been doing that for every episode.
If you see us creating sacrilege by painting and drawing and scratching on a table, our friend Mac provided this table so that we could use it for this show under one condition, and that was the term fuck it up and create it, like make it individual. So we are during the entire process, you'll see us carving in it or painting on it, drawing on it. So thank you, Mac. He also provided some dice trays and towers and boxes and
earrings.
Oh, yeah. We haven't addressed that. We've all been wearing these earrings.
Yeah, all of us.
All of us. Every single one of us.
Every single one of us. All of us were friends.
Yeah, except for the
normie who doesn't have his ears pierced.
I mean, I got my ears pierced, but I was not about
a black shirt, dude.
I'm not even a tattooer.
No. It's all facade. That all to be said, that was coming only from Mac's pureness of his heart and believing in what we do, that he offered us for the capability to use this table and given us all the goods. So thank you, Mac. We love you, buddy.
We really appreciate you, man. I mean it very seriously.
Huge thank you to the Smith Guardians and the team behind RealmSmith that collaborate and make this possible, and to the Realm Watchers, the moderators of our Discord and streams, and to the Realmers. All you individuals who watch and consume our content, and it's all these individuals coming together and making all this possible. So thank you guys.
You could say they're the Realmers glue that holds us all together.
Wow. That is it, guys. Do we have a Mickey jail?
Kelly's joke, but
well, it's not my joke, it's your
joke. Be sure to subscribe, to share, go tell all your friends and everybody in the tattoo shop. We're going to go ahead and jump right back into Eberron. And we're back, and last we left off, man, what a heavy ending, a heavy episode. You all had went back to the incubus to find it scattered, abandoned, damp, dark, back to normal. You guys began to investigate, to go through the town, to go to Bibliotattoo, where you met an individual who wanted to speak to you once you guys had some information to give him. But some things were said that was a little disturbing to some people in the party, and you all left. Trying to figure out where you were going and what you were going to do, you began to go back to the incubus, remembering that it's not the incubus anymore. So you proceeded to the tavern, where you guys had some card games, some goods, made some friends, met an innkeep and an individual who frequented named Shane. You all had some drinks, learned a little bit of information about a man named Fumel, of how he might have been seen leaving the scene. Without much else to do, Mickey literally smacked his head into the wall because he couldn't get drunk until Magvar helped him get some sleep. You all got rested, woke up, trying to figure out your day, to walk outside and see if an individual that fits Fumel's description sitting at a table with Shane. Knarf went over and had a conversation, and when a fire was brought up, he began to run outside, running into Magvar. And we left where he stumbled into you, looked you up and down, looked at your chest, shuddered in fear and said, "It's you," and began to run away again. Let's pick up right there. What are you all doing?
Got it. Mm-hmm. We were right outside of the tavern.
Right.
Yes. You two were outside the tavern. You were talking to Shane, cutting him back and forth.
I'm going to use message to do that. I'm going to point to him and say, catch him.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can do that through a certain amount of solid. I don't have to be able to see you.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to be able to see them?
No, you don't.
Can
it
you...
Goes through, I promise, I checked.
What?
For this exact thing.
Okay, we're going to play it as it is that way. I just want to get that read. So go ahead. What is it you say?
So, is he running past me? Is he still away?
At this point, he's kind of burst through the doors. He just got done talking to Knarf, and it was one of the things where you were just standing outside the door, watching her, making sure she was safe. And as he kind of ran into you, it was as if his hand touched your chest, and he just like kind of looked you up and down, noticed something, recognized you somehow, and proceeded to almost try to push you away and walk in, like run in opposite direction.
If his hand is still here, I grab it.
Okay.
Magvar reaches up with his giant, oversized hand and tries to crush that man's arm.
All right, I'm going to have you
give him advantage if he hears the message.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you read that to me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. You point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message, which is 120 feet.
Yeah.
You can cast a spell through solid objects if you're familiar with the target and you know it beyond the barrier.
Boom. Good to go. Right. That's all I wanted to make sure.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
So go ahead and give me. We're going to do a dexterity roll off. We're just going to see if you can grab his arm before, or would you?
I would like to do it with strength.
You want to do a grapple check?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do a grapple off.
Okay.
Grapple off. Grapples to oranges.
I got 17.
Is that a 14? Yes. That's an 18.
18.
18 with strength.
Man,
thanks for the inspiration.
He's surprisingly strong. As you grab his wrist, he yanks, and you were barely hanging on, but you managed the pure intensity of this individual standing in front of you, and Yokai telling you to get him. You're not letting this individual go. He looks you up, he looks you down, he's trying to grab the situation, and all of a sudden, he looks behind him, he almost reaches, and his hand is out of your grasp, and you see him about 100 yards away. What do you all do?
I'm not out there, so I just assumed that you caught him.
I just screamed, no!
Oh, how loud do I hear it?
Oh, yeah, you hear that.
Oh, yeah.
You hear that. All right. Let me see how far this is real quick. I'm so sorry, not 100 feet. He is 30 feet away. 30
okay.
Very different.
That changes it.
I was
Very
like 100 yards.
No, I was like, there's no way. I said that. All right, 30 feet away.
I don't want to Bogart, but I think what I would do is like Dara, and point, and then cast Lightning Lure
Ooh.
to try to whip him back.
All right, go ahead. Can you read that to me real quick so I can become familiar with it?
Yes.
Lightning Lure. That's almost a lasso, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
It's a cantrip. So you create a lash of lightning energy that strikes at one creature of your choice that you can see within 15 feet of you. Fuck!
Okay.
I thought it was 30.
All right, you can run. You can run closer.
Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll move 15 feet and just sort of like cast it on the fly.
Okay.
The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pulled up to 10 feet in a straight line toward you, and then take 1d8 lightning damage if it is within 5 feet of you.
What was it he was trying to save?
Strength. Which
There's no way. That's a 6 total.
Yes.
So
okay, sweet.
You run forward. You watch as Magvar, his chest just starts to radiate, crackle, and just lightning sparks start to go all over his body as they just crawl up his arm. He reaches out, and this just string of energy gets shot out, lassos around Fumel, and you watch as Magvar almost grabs the lightning itself in his fist. As it wraps, he pulls back, and the individual, it's wrapped around his waist, and you just watch him get folded like a goddamn taco yanked back. How much damage does he take?
Well, I would roll a 1d8, but what I'm going to do instead is use a Channel Divinity for Destructive Wrath. And I use Channel Divinity to deal maximum damage instead of rolling for lightning or thunder.
Okay.
Build.
8 damage.
8 damage.
Wow, build.
All right.
It's the brightest you've ever seen that crystal like glow and crackle.
All right.
Fucking fantastic.
So you watch, he gets pulled in a straight line. He's rolls over, ass over tea kettle. He's covered in dust. He's laying there prone on the ground. He's starting to roll around. What are the rest of you doing?
Dara is really close, and I think runs up, and as he's on the ground prone, I walk up and like maybe kick him over, put my boot right on his chest with my hand on my sword, said, "Where do you think you're going, buddy?"
How far? Sorry.
He, as you literally kick him over, he starts to roll, and Dara, you come up and take like the tip of your toe on the top of it, and you just drive it directly into his rib cage. You don't need to roll him over because you flip him over with force. You put your foot on top of him. You look at him, and he looks up. He just holds his hands up. I just wanted a new life.
Say more. Use your words. Now.
He starts reaching in a pouch really quick,
and Dara's sword is drawn and on his neck.
I am trying to give you what was left here, and I think it tells you more than I know.
I kind of look at Magvar, and I'm like, "Do you buy this?"
If that hand holds anything else aside from what we want, I'm ripping it off.
How far away am I?
So,
how far away? Still,
I would say around, like, you guys knowing what, like, hearing Magvar, hearing Dara, like, I'd say that you guys, if you would like, unless you want to do something else, you can usher yourself outside and you see what's going on.
Do you want to be inside the door still?
Basically, I need to be at the table for 1 second.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll say while you're doing around this time, what are you doing?
At this time, I finish his drink because why waste them?
Good man.
Grab both decks of cards, put them in my pockets, and I make my way to the group and the fallen person. Am I close enough to get there and do something?
I'd say you're probably the last one if you guys are going straight out.
Right.
Are you guys... Were you at the bar with Yokai?
Yeah, I was at the bar complaining to Kel about his watered down booze.
Yeah. And Kel's like, look, sorry, sometimes, we get the bottom of the well. If you want the good stuff, I can't really give that stuff away for free. I'm sorry, but happy to help a friend out, especially one who looks like they need a little bit of help here.
Help us both out with a new bottle.
All right, you know what? If the last one didn't work well enough, you guys tipped well last night, go ahead and take that.
Yes, we did.
All right.
This one better not be broken.
Oh, wait, actually, he reaches over, he goes, I'm going to make sure. Yeah, you don't want that one. He grabs this other, it's a very small vial. He goes, there you go, that should be enough for at least you and 2 of your friends.
So we see Femel booking it away, just head right after.
All right, so you guys all go outside. Dara, you are talking, and you as you draw the blade to him, he starts to reach in his pouch, and you threaten to yank his arm off. Knarf, you walk up around the same time. What is it you'd like to do?
I'd like to cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay, go ahead and what is it you say? And it's a wisdom save, correct?
Yes.
That is a 9.
All right.
With a -1.
Wisdom save.
Oh, you don't need to
No,
roll
you don't need to roll. You roll
sorry.
damage, you
Well,
fail.
That was a 10. But to him, I walk up to him and I say, turn tail and tell us what we know. Turn your tail and tell us what we need to know before I cut it the fuck off.
All right. So you literally watch as he is just shrunk as a person, as he's getting surrounded, laying on his back, trying to get stuff, and you feel almost that what you say not just resonates and scares him. You watch it actually hurt his insides. How much damage is it? D6?
I believe so.
Yeah, D6 or D4?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I roll that guy?
Mm-hmm. I believe it's a D6 plus your...
I was there, then I went away real quick. Let me get back to it. It is 1d4 is what it is.
All right, so a D4.
All right.
Why did I advocate for D4? I should have rolled a D6. Whose side am I on?
Honestly, not ours.
All right, so he takes 2 points of damage as you literally watch it, almost his veins, his muscles start to just get weakened by your words.
How does that feel?
Huh?
How does that feel?
You see him literally, he goes and he grabs, you see him, he grabs 2 books, they're 2 journals, and there's a box that he has. He goes, this was left in all this when I got it. I don't know. Here, take it. He throws the books out, and then he also throws a box.
Yes. Oh, cool.
Wow.
Can I put it now?
Daddy gave us a shiny.
Cool. Look at it.
Ooh. I don't know what that means.
We don't either.
Cool. Okay, just making sure.
Nope.
He's
You're a wonder.
I think that and you almost see tears start to well up in his eye. He's like, I just wanted a new life, and I was given one, and I had to do a horrible thing to get it, and I'm sorry. I tell you more. I feel like this isn't, and you watch that there's people literally walking by. It's outside of a bar, so it's not absolutely just completely out of the norm. But this isn't a normal bar. This is like a gaming tavern.
It's a fun bar.
It's a fun bar. It's not a normal bar. It's a cool.
Chuck E. Cheese.
And you see that there are people starting to circle around and kind of watch what you guys are doing. I feel there might be a better place for this to happen.
I don't know. I don't want to.
Dara's blade has not moved.
Does it sound like he's describing that he signed a patron pact?
Not. I mean, not enough information. I mean, you believe you've known stuff like that, or you've heard of people giving away, their soul for a new start. You've heard of people literally just giving enough money, or doing a horrible thing. Somebody gives them money to go start a new life.
Good point.
It's hard to kind of describe off of what you've gathered so far.
We should leave.
My new house is up the road. We can talk there. I'll leave town. I'll do whatever.
Where's Shane?
Who?
Shane?
Shane is leaning against the inn. You look over, and he's kind of watching from, at this point you guys are about 30, 35 feet away. Sure. He's just watching. That's about it.
Do we believe him?
So you can check if you want. You can roll insight, and then figure out, if you can
we did an insight on Shane.
Not Shane.
No.
I did an insight on Shane.
No, we did.
Knock off no.
Yeah, but Flamel. Yeah, I'm gonna say Dara is just absolutely aware of everyone at this point. So she is mostly looking to you to be like, if you believe him, we can tie him up and have him take us to his new place.
Can I do an insight check?
Yes, you may.
That's what do I add to that else? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Bam. So that's 12.
12 total.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to tell. He's really afraid. You can tell he's very scared. What you can gather with that role is it seems like he's willing to do whatever it is to make this stop.
Okay. Can I speak to him?
Yeah, of course.
Or speak to everyone. I believe he's had enough. If you will, lower your blade.
Or maybe raise it.
Yeah, you see him. His eyes get big. It's literally like you see. It's like pressed against his Adam's apple. He's like,
"It's like Dara, the other way."
And I think she kind of looks around and sees everyone just like waiting to see what I'm going to do. And she doesn't take her foot off, but she does put her blade back.
Then I look at Fennel and I say, I offer my hand and say, "Stand up."
He sees your hand, but he's very apprehensive of any kind of contact with you. Right. So he just, quickly rolls over, gets on his knees and pushes himself up, dusts himself off. You watch him trip over his own tail for a second. He's like, "I'll get used to that one day," and starts walking a little bit. He's like, "You guys ready?"
"We will treat you with respect as long as you play nice.
And if you run away, a foot is gone."
And if he runs away, this crossbow will meet his end.
Got that?
All right, noted. I don't think that we were having a friendly game earlier, were we?
Perception is 90% of any conversation.
So he kind of just starts to walk as you're saying that. Is there any conversations you were having closer at a distance to him as he starts to wind you through the streets, as it seems like he's taking you to some area? Is there anything that you guys would like to speak about?
He's not.
Okay, yeah.
We gotta do something.
I'll say...
I'll put him on one of those leash backpacks you put on 4-year-olds at the mall.
Oh, yeah? So,
yeah, I have that in my inventory. Just in case, I added that to my inventory.
Child backpack.
Yep.
How do I add to inventory on the app, by the way? I got cards I gotta put in there.
She'll be able to help you out with that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, right there.
You guys restrain him. He doesn't fight. He doesn't, try to resist. He is more annoyed that it's going on, but happy that it's not being hurt. He starts to walk, and it takes about 10 minutes as you guys go to the edge of town, the back portion of it. It's a beautiful day. It's very hot. There's the wind that's coming through is a very nice breeze to the arid air. As you go through the town, you hear sounds of the community just starting to get moving. People are going to the stores, and I would envision, correct me if I'm wrong, one of you has his hands tied but staying close behind him. So it's not like you're being tailored by somebody on a rope, or vice versa.
I think Magvar is walking behind Femel, which is really unusual because normally he likes to go
to the front.
He likes to move in the front.
Okay. I'd say that every now and again, if he starts to go too slow, it's like a single finger in the back from Magvar. Of just
one of the big ones too. It's
the really thick index.
thick boy. And so you guys make your way through town. It takes about 10 minutes to get to the edge as he comes up, and you guys see that there is a beautiful, I say manor, but pseudo mansion. It's pretty large. It looks old. It looks not abandoned, but not super well taken care of. There's 2 pillars up front that come to a castle steeple at points. And the windows are dark on the inside, minus the downstairs has a few lights coming in. He goes up and he's like, "Yeah, can I have my hands untied to get my key?" As he just stares ahead.
I think while we were walking, you said it took about 10 minutes.
Yeah, you guys have conversations, prepare anything you'd like.
Could I have been casting Detect Magic while we were walking?
On what?
As a ritual. I just want to have it going.
Yeah.
So that I can. I want to look at Femel and see if is he exuding an aura like a spellcaster might, or
Okay. So
how are the vibes?
The vibes are a few things. It's because it takes 10.
Can I cast vibe check?
Can I catch a vibe check? So it takes about 10 minutes to get there, and it takes 10 minutes to cast a ritual. So almost as you guys are coming up to the door, your eyes start to shift, starts to shift a little bit as you start to see into the veil of the arcane. You watch as female starts to radiate the energy that you see within yourself and with Knarf. Like, he does have the capability to obviously cast spells. You watched him disappear. Yeah. Nothing astronomical, nothing extravagant, but you do get a really strong arcane presence coming from inside this box that he gave you.
Okay.
And then outside of that, just stuff that's on your own attire.
Sure.
But that's about what you grab from Detect Magic.
Do I have a read of what maybe the school of the box is?
Ooh, that's a good question. I need to double check real quick something. Because that's a.
What's in the box? I wasn't gonna do it.
I'm gonna say. You get an aura.
Oops.
Okay, you get an aura of an alteration magic.
Alteration. Okay. That's weird.
Something in it, and it's almost. Give me. No, I'm not going to have you have to roll anything. You're going to get this because it resonated with you this morning. It has a pulse, like something you felt when you woke up.
Oh. Well, I was not expecting to be that disturbed when I looked at the box. I think Magvar relays that and is very surprised. Where last night he was kind of despondent, he seems to be like re-energized because it seems like we're on the trail of something. Mm-hmm. But he was not expecting that particular thing, and so he told you about the heartbeat last night.
Right.
And he tells you that this box also has a heartbeat. Is it doing the same thing? I wrote this down because does it seem to have a radiating core of arcana?
I mean, you can't really.
Oh, I can't look in the box.
Look in the box, okay, cool. But something about the way the energy is thrumming resonates with you, similar to when you inspected your own in a smaller fashion.
Okay.
And Femel is like right in front of you when you say this, and the only thing he says is like, I have no idea. I flipped through the journals. I don't know what's in the box. I found it on me. Yeah, I don't know.
I think Magvar takes the journals from him and gives them to Knarf and says, like, gestures to your goggles and is like, Knarf, I believe these give you some insight.
I believe they do. Well, I'd use that now. I can do all that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Then I'd like to use Finder's goggles. Okay. And let me make sure. Let's see here.
What is your goal with this?
My goal with this is to
find the owner of the journal.
Give me a second here.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Magvar, what would you like me to do with these journals?
It seems that maybe you have some practice in secrecy that I had been unaware of, and I thought perhaps you might be able to see the words beyond the words.
I do have magic goggles that help me at times, yes. Maybe I can. And I pull my goggles down into my face, and I hold the journals, and basically with this card I can I do the check, and it says the number of nope. You can use the goggles to examine any object and identify the aura of the last creature that touched it. Make a insight check with against a DC of 13. plus the number of days since the last contact occurred.
Okay.
Basically.
Go ahead and roll a wisdom check.
Okay.
It's 10 plus the last 10 days.
Mm-hmm. And so that is...
And this helps you locate the creature that last touched these?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm touching the actual, the lettering on the...
So you're trying to discern who wrote these?
Who wrote this, where it came from.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. And we'll go back to... Where is that? I was putting the cards in my deck.
Yeah, you're fine.
Way here. Let's see. All right. So that's going to be wisdom, insight. All right, 16.
Yeah, can we move the box a little bit?
Where are you?
That way? This way? Oh, towards me?
Towards you.
Thank you. Something. It's your intuitive nature, Knarf.
Yes.
You've been reading, the individuals around you, people you've been playing games with. As you start to read this, you get an image that comes to you, similar to what you've seen before. But you feel like this happened farther back. Mm-hmm. But you see that there is a quill writing. You can't read the letters yet. If once we go through this, I can tell you what's in these journals. But you see a quill touch the paper, start to write. You see it start to speak of traveling to the Mournlands. Mm-hmm. But your vision starts to zoom out of the creator, the person who wrote these journals.
Yes.
And it's female.
Okay, I want to use this now.
Okay. What?
I would like to use my changeling abilities as well as my actor feat to turn myself into female.
Okay.
And walk up to him.
Mm-hmm.
See if he reacts at all. If I've listened to him speak for more than a minute, I get advantage on tricking him into thinking that I'm...
You're him?
Yeah.
So you see him, you walk up to him. First, are you doing that while he's doing this? That kind of simultaneous?
No, afterwards.
Afterwards?
I can say he did in fact write these, so if these words are true, he knows more than he's telling us.
It's not true. It's way more complicated than that, okay?
Make it simple.
And you walk up to him and he goes, damn, I do look good now. Like, that's...
He does go, I'm gonna drop it for a second and go, I can impersonate people too. So either you're lying to us or you're not who you say you are.
I am who I say I am now. That's why I did what I did. Okay, can we go in? I can give you the key. You can open the door.
I'll get the key.
Okay. He literally just does this, or I guess leans forward with his hands tied.
Sure.
He goes, it's in my ass pocket on the left.
I'm gonna use the mage hand for that one. I'm not going in there.
Okay.
Yep, little mage hand.
Little mage hand scoops into the pocket, grabs it out. He goes.
After the Greasy Pockets episode, I think I'm a little.
Yeah,
I forgot about Greasy Pockets.
I did not.
There's a butler in there. He's cool. I've only met him once since everything, but he's cool. So don't be surprised. Don't kill him.
This is your home, and you don't know your own butler?
It is now.
I'm gonna use mage hand with the key to just unlock the door. Maybe give it like a quick little rap to alert anybody that we're coming home.
Okay. You unlock the door. It opens. It's a beautiful home. It's fairly well kept. Looks like it's kind of been untouched, stale. There's some paintings on the wall of families. You see a young female with what seems to be his mother and father and a younger sibling that's with him.
Does he look different than he does now?
He's younger, but he looks the same.
Okay.
You see pictures of him growing up, and then the very last picture is just a picture of female standing in the age he is now, minus a couple years. He's wearing a black suit. He's standing with his arms crossed in front of him. He looks tired. He looks sad. He walks into the building, and around the corner, you see a individual Sorry, 1 second. You start hearing the sound of metal on tile coming through the door frame, and as you do, you see about a 5'7", 5'8" Warforged come through. Very stiff, he's got tattered, almost rusted metal. It seems like a very much older model. His upper frame stops here, and you actually see the wood vines that make up the skeletal system of Warforged. He has gold, like mismatched parts on him. Even so, you see one eye is broken, but in his hand he brings up just a small little glass crystal, and as he puts it to where the eye was, it just glows. He goes, "Oh, Master Fumel, it's been about a week or two. It's so wonderful to see you. You brought friends. Would you like tea?"
We would love some.
You see him go and you hear like rusty joints as he puts the monocle into like a little pocket. And he's kind of rigid. His arms don't even bend down all the way down next to his side. He almost holds them in this fashion. He goes, "Just one moment." And you hear him turn and start walking towards the kitchen.
Do you want to follow the iPhone 6 there?
Yeah, I think Magvar. It takes him a second. He's like really distrusting, and then he kind of takes pity on this older model. Decides to follow him.
Okay, so you follow him into the kitchen, and as you do, you see him reach and flick his thumb, and a little flame comes out, and he lights a lantern. Goes and grabs a canister, goes and pours some water in it, and you see he goes over to a gas stove and just takes his thumb. "Would you like ginseng, honey, sugar?"
No, thank you.
I am Job. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Job. Are you free?
Oh yes. After the Great War, I decided to stay here. I've been here my entire life. It's my purpose. Even though Mr. and Mrs. Graven and young Graven passed, I am happy to be here and assist with Fumel.
What were the Gravens like?
Very kind individuals. They prospered by working with the hydroponics of the town. They mostly went as need be. Fumel was always the long-gotten son who was raised with money. After their loss, he became very, very depressed, very sad. Quite sad, actually. He decided to start looking, and he found answers that he so wished, spent lots of time in his study, spoke to some people, and went to the Mornlands. And since he's come back, I've seen him once, actually. He was in good mood. Great mood, actually. Have not seen him in a long time. You hear, boom, tea's done. Goes over, pours it, and gives you a dish of one for everybody.
Magvar takes it and I guess just holds it because he doesn't know what to do with it. Just to be clear, Job, what is young Master Graven's name?
Fumel. Fumel Graven.
You know, I'm like a little girl.
Yeah, I guess he just raises it up and I think holds the saucer and the cup at the same time. just dumps the whole thing into his face.
You see Job turn. He goes, "Wild, new models can even consume beverages. How strange." As he starts to just walk forward and to serve everybody.
Do I think having rebuilt portions of my body? Do I feel like I can straighten him out at all? Can I make his life a little bit better?
I'm gonna have you
pop some bones,
little oil.
Yeah. I'm gonna have you give me an intelligence. No, I'll just tell you. You've seen you're a younger model, correct? that right? You were new to the war. The war has been going on for a while, and let me make sure I'm getting the house correct as I'm thinking about it. Man, where are you at? I want to make sure I get this lore right. Yes, as the House Cannith started creating the Warforge, I mean, our technological advances boomed very quickly, and you probably gather this is just a really old model and I hate to use the term model when it comes to, a sentient being, but, the technology that helped build him was not the same as it was when it built you. So, his joints may not function the same. His limberness may not be the same, nor may even though his articulation, his knowledge is the same, his articulation of how it comes out may not be. With some new parts, I mean, he probably could be great. And same function, he's just as sentient, just as smart, but, old parts.
I think in a particularly strange act of cunning, a Magvar is going to try to mislead Job into believe. Well, Magvar is just going to say, "Oh, when the war ended, I lost my purpose, and I am exploring purposes. May I try your purpose?" And then try to just go fiddle with tea stuff.
Yeah, you see Job stop for a second as he's going through the threshold to serve them, and turns to you. He goes, "Huh, interesting. If you lost your purpose, did you have one?" And you see him literally turn and start to go serve your friends.
I guess I'm just scrubbing dishes with like one giant finger.
You got like one rag, and it's just like
breaking woods.
Just crushing. Dishes are done. So then to an empty.
Get rid of these for you.
To an empty sink, he says, "I had a purpose, and I shirked it, and now I'm lost."
What are you all doing? That's kind of, they're having their moment in there.
Kicking Femel in the shins.
Femel, is like he literally, you see him literally like go and put his back to a wall and start to lean down. He's kind of like tornado drill sitting on the wall with his hands tied behind him. I wish I knew where to start, aside from what I remember and what I know. I caused the fires. It was the condition for a new start.
Did you tie those people up too?
Yeah.
On your own?
Sure did. No one comes and goes and tries and save a burning house. There has to be collateral in it.
It was half out of the goodness of our hearts. And half about that 1,000 gold.
Yeah.
Was part of it.
Your kind rarely shows it out of the kindness of their heart just to be kind. It's why I wanted a new life. One like you. One where I could walk without being told I was one thing or another, or having a predetermined future. Rarely do you all do something without wanting something in return, or just expecting it to be done because it's told in the chain of command. And you see him like push himself up on the wall and lean forward. Everyone deserves to have the same life. And I did horrible things to get mine, and I will do anything to keep this. I came from the Mournlands. I wasn't female a week ago. My name's Torque.
I think Magvar's done doing the dishes.
Oh yeah, I would say around like at this time, you've had your moment with them, and you hear the words that come in, and you hear, "My real name's Torque." As a job comes in, he hears that as he's trying to serve. He's like, "Master Femel, man, I'm sorry, but I'm not female. I mean, I can be. I'm hoping to be, but I guess you don't have to stay here. You've never had to stay here. Job, Job, go wherever you want. Why do you stay here, work for people, even if there's no one here? I was gone for a week. Why don't you leave? And Job's like, it's just my purpose. I was built to do this. No, you were built to die for them. He looks to you guys, and then you.
Oh, shit.
You're gonna help. You know that, right?
Help who?
All of us. And you see him kind of smile and lean back. I'm sorry. I don't know everything about you. I just know you're wanted. I know that I was to make a distraction. You see him pop his neck, straighten up, so that they could get something to lure you in. And I think they did that. Oh, fuck, I think they did that. Can I have these untied?
Who is they?
I'm not used to having joint pain.
Who is they?
Walks up to him and just, as he says, can I have these untied? And she smacks him in the face.
You hear it saying, he goes, his eyes get wide, almost out of like an enjoyment feeling. He goes, you've never felt heat on your face, have you? After a sting, after you get slapped.
He reaches up and pulls his like orange vestment out, and you just like, it reveals this very, very like melted faceplate.
Yeah. Have we seen it before?
Yeah, you've probably seen it before.
But you see him like, he's like, oh, ooh, that's rough. No, inflammation, bowels, guttural pains from having to burp, man. You've never felt it.
You ever taken a shit that far?
You've never taken a shit, man? Dude, I took my first shit like last week.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
It was wild.
RP it.
What do you mean?
You see him lean over to your ear, and quiet enough that probably none of you can hear. You guys are welcome to make a check. You just hear, I was like you. And now I'm in this body. And you see him lean back. You can be helpful.
Look. One luck. I'm using one luck to do my ability check again.
Okay, what is it? You want to hear this?
I'm gonna try to see if I can hear.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, are we rolling perception for this?
Oh, it's super cocked.
Yeah, you can
gotta
reroll
reroll
that. That's cocked.
Let's move those dice. Oh, I'm sorry, those are mine.
Okay.
My apologies.
It's okay.
I'm hogging the dice tray.
No, it's not very good. No.
I also want to hear. Is it perception?
Yeah, perception.
I'd like to try as well.
Yeah, you can give some free rolls.
Fun downs.
But yeah, that's 11.
11.
That's 6.
Okay.
I have proficiency in reading lips, I believe.
Yep. Okay. I want.
Actually, maybe not.
That is fine.
I think that's the observant.
That's
You're
observant
right.
feat.
Yep. Okay.
So no one here hears it except you, and he just leans back.
Bet.
I went. My life before is a blur, though I remember some of what it was like and why I left. I don't really know why or how I got here, but the weapon of life changed my life. And
do I recognize that term, the weapon of life?
You've never heard it, no.
Okay.
Knarf, have you flipped through the book yet? At all? Huh? Somewhat. You didn't read it, but there was just like a single term. Like he says weapon of life, and you're like, that's in the journal too.
Yes. Should I do an investigation check for that, or just in general?
If you wanted to take time to read the journal, you're welcome to.
Okay.
And that I could give you some more insight on that.
I would like to do that.
Okay. You go ahead and do a little bit of that. I want to see some reaction while you're kind of digesting these two journals in front of you.
Gotcha.
What do you guys say? What are you guys doing? Any engagements?
He's sitting down in a chair right now.
He's kind of like sitting on the wall.
Sitting on the wall?
Yeah.
I'm gonna find a chair and pull it towards the middle of the room.
Okay.
And I'm gonna grab Mel by his little lead. And I'm gonna bring him over and sit him down in the chair.
It starts to be as like you grab him and he starts to go up like not fighting, and even if he's not fighting, you kind of just force him forward a little faster. And he sits in the chair, or plopped in the chair, however you'd like.
And I'm gonna pull a little can out of my pocket and start to unscrew it.
Okay.
And it's really tough when you have to set a fire for yourself. You know, let people get hurt. I think we'd be willing to risk that. And I start walking around and pouring out a little.
At first, he just kind of thought what you had was like an alcohol flask, and then he sees what you're doing. And goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! I will tell you anything."
Oh, I know. The matches.
Start with the weapon of life.
So what? While that's happening with me, you start flipping through the two books, and one is near the ending, and you get to the last couple pages. It starts to speak of, and these are all from Female. The first book is from like the past year or so. Female talks about the mourning of his family, how they had died in a fire, and how he's missed them gravely. He wishes to someday try and find a way to bring them back. He starts to, look into some dark magics to do one thing or another, and nothing seems to fit.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
In reading these journals, am I recognizing any like key words or phrases that will tell me a little bit of who he might have been before?
It's very much just it's just Female. He talks about how after his family died, a lot of their economics didn't stick because the father and mother were no longer there.
You're right. Gotcha.
Then he talks about near the end how he went to Bibliotattoo to speak with Dilidris because Dilidris has traveled to the Mournlands a lot, and he wanted to know about the magic of the Mournlands. And Dilidris had spoken to him about magic is strange and wondrous in the Mournlands, and how it's dangerous. Healing magic doesn't work the same, and the best thing, death, doesn't work the same there either. So Female, at a feat of desperation, grabbed the bodies of his parents and went to the Mournlands. But things changed in the second journal when Female, it starts to speak of, you kind of flip to a page real quick, and it speaks of him being in captivity, that he was kidnapped in the middle of the night by 3 Warforged. They didn't take his goods from him, and he's able to keep notes. And they put them in, it seems like it's been a few days in the Mournlands, and he's in an encampment where they have some others. How he would be a perfect body, and how they would love to look like him, and how they can't wait to speak and to possibly have their chance to have a meeting with the weapon of life and maybe have his body. And that is where the last entry is, a Female second journal.
I wrote this a while ago, but can I tell the group? I said he might be a tin can.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I caught it a while ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Making sure. Excuse me, I got excited. I read the journal. Okay. Seemed like there was a lot that happened to him. Can I yell, "Hey, tin can," to see who looks at me?
He looks up, and you see him almost look at you in a saddened face, from being horrified to sad.
Why did you do it?
He can't focus because, what are you doing, Mickey, right now? You're just kind of shaking the matches?
Reservoir dog shit.
You see him kind of sit and lean back, and a tear starts to go down the side of his face. Minotaur, in these lands. You're going to tell me that you don't know?
Oh, no, I understand. But the choices you make follow you.
Yeah.
No matter who you are.
That's not what they believe. Made as a weapon, literally constructed for a war we weren't meant to fight in, or apparently built to fight in. Look at you. And he looks at your chest. You don't think that there was a sole purpose that they constructed you? They never fucking meant to make you an entire embodiment. To be a conduit. For them. You weren't. He looks at your chest. I don't know how you're going to help, but they built you to make them more powerful, not to make you strong.
Dara here says, "Shut up!" and then just smacks him across the face again.
He gets almost knocked crazy from it.
Magvar is like looking down at his chest, right? And I cast the light cantrip, and he pulls off the plate that's protecting it, and the crystal is visible fully. And I think maybe for the first time in front of all of you, except for maybe Dara, he pulls it out and is now holding it, and the portion of his chest that is normally glowing is just like a dead, empty, dark cavity, and he's holding the dragon shard in his hand instead of the giant one, and it's glowing brightly just for a second, and he puts it back in, and with his
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and with his head still lowered, he just sort of he quietly says, "I know I'm a weapon."
Job sees you pull it out, and he's standing there. He's like, that was in my memory. Cerberus Crystal, used for dragon marks, enhancing, embellishing. Where'd you find so many?
So many?
And he goes, many. Not one. There's tiny crystals, the Cerberus charts. And he, as you start to put it in, many dragon shards. Cerberus crystals, dragon shards, Cerberus normally correlate to dragon marks. You know that, right?
I don't know if Magvar knew that.
Absolutely not. No idea.
Okay.
You've not paid any attention to what this shard. You understood it had magical properties.
Yeah.
You understood it was very arcane and would pulsate, but you did not know what it did. And then it starts to make sense as to why it would change in the School of Magic.
Okay.
Do we all hear this?
Huh?
Do we all hear this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
what? Are you kidding me?
Hell yeah.
Oh my god, I'm fucking shaking.
Dude.
Oh, are you... Oh my god. I'm gonna barf.
Whoa.
So that's about the size of dragon shards.
Okay, can you untie this one?
Thank you, Chris.
That's so cool. Thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you, RealmSmith. This shit is dope. From Beetle and Grimm's?
Oh, yeah, duh. I'm sorry. This is from Beetle and Grimm's. This is in the gold edition box, man. These are
oh my god,
so dope. And yeah,
that's the coolest thing. Okay,
now you're really gonna throw up.
I'm gonna really throw up. Okay, so has Magvar ever noticed that it's more than one crystal? Has he ever seen it like that?
I would say, yeah, something, but it also kind of had the look of a geode, of just jettisoned crystalline structures that may have built off one another. You've never, this is not an insult, but you've never had the gumption enough to try and dissect it manually.
Oh, no way.
So there's no way that you would have been like, oh, this is like a ton of dragon shards melded, smoldered together.
Okay. And, Job.
Yes.
What else do you know about it? Do you know about this?
You open it, he goes, No, that is a big dragon shard. Many dragon shards. There's multiple dragon shards. Many have different properties. Some used to propel the sky ships. Some used the lightning rail. Some used to enhance.
Okay. This is a lot of information.
And female's sitting there and just eyeballing, not you, but just your hand. Says, questions, comments, questions, inquiries, concerns. I fucked up. Okay?
Yeah, you really did. And Mickey is going to cast matches.
Matches. Cast matches as you all watch.
Oh, we're in this house.
Yeah.
Have you guys already run? She said.
Let me think. Okay, so he immediately, just out of instinct, you watch Female kick back in the chair. You watch it like he just slams on his back onto the chair. He's rolling around as Mickey drops the match as flames, as they just go up the back of the chair. They start to climb and crawl all over Female, Torque, whatever he goes by. Job looks, Master Female. And he starts to go over and you watch his hand start to open up and he starts to point it at it and just says, nothing comes out. Oh, water. And he starts to go to the kitchen and Female is writhing and screaming. What are you all doing?
I look over at Mickey and say, I have a story prepared about becoming a different person, changing, but I guess I'll save that for later.
The house is on fire, so we should leave.
This is gonna hit the mic. I'm good. Okay.
Oh, that's so dope.
That's awesome.
This is the best day of my life.
It takes this much.
Bars on the floor.
Yeah.
That was Magvar, by the way, not to insult, all the people in my life that I love. That was Magvar. Oh shit. Okay, so I'm sorry. I feel like I'm talking a lot this episode, and I don't want to steal the floor.
No.
Okay. All right. So
Sorry.
okay. So Magvar is like deeply drawn into this. Like it's a puzzle to him, right? Like the crystal is it's a danger. Clearly, that's like how he's built his life. But as an object, like he now sees it as something to like figure out and deconstruct conceptually.
Yeah.
Right. So he has become like entirely engrossed in it and like has no concept that like the chair is on fire.
No,
right.
The entire house is starting to fill with smoke. You hear Job in the kitchen starting to pour water buckets, or like trying to fill containers of water. What is it you're doing?
Are you just
so staring?
He's like lost for a second and like is Torque screaming? Like
Torque is screaming,
Not for
writhing.
long.
He is
knock an arrow and just like Mickey, you gotta stop doing this to people, and just put him out of his misery.
Okay, all right.
Silence as you watch as Job walks in with the barrel. He's like, Master Female, and we're going to take a break.
Do you miss playing Dungeons & Dragons, or just have a hard time finding a group in your hometown? Maybe you just wish you could play more. On Discord, we created a community of over 100 people who are playing D&D around the clock. By integrating Discord and D&D Beyond, we're able to provide an immersive experience that is the first of its kind. You can create a character from 1st to 15th level, and then roleplay 24/7 in our Discord channels while combating monsters, crafting weapons, training new skills, and searching for items across our campaign world. You'll also have the chance to participate in random combat encounters and go on monthly virtual quests. Ever wanted to try your hand at being a dungeon master? Or maybe you're an experienced dungeon master and just want the chance to run more adventures. As a community DM, you can run encounters and virtual quests for the community based on monthly modules written by our very own accomplished plot team. Join us.
Join us.
Check it out.
Join the Discord.
Join us!
Join us.
And let's create incredible stories together.
Is the money really worth all this?
It's not about the credits. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
I bet you have.
You're not getting the drop on the villains with sounds like that. Your game needs Sirenscape. The Sirenscape online player has a huge library of epic sounds for any situation. Epic games need epic sound. Go to Sirenscape.com to get started today.
Hey, Dr. Dane at Cream Tattoo Supply here. Do you need a remedy for your corporate gouging woes and your tattoo supplies? Well, I'm here to tell you, I've got the solution. We've got cream cartridges. And I know what you're saying. Hey, Dr. Dane, is it going to cost a lot? It's not going to cost a lot. It's going to cost just the right amount. Economically friendly. Do you want to support a tattooer owned and operated business? I know I do. Head on over to creamtattoosupply.com or come to our storefront at 1102 East Prospect Street in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Dr. Dane never has and never will be a doctor. If you or someone you love has been affected by monopoly tattoo companies, please go to creamtattoosupply.com for your supply acquisitions.
It is said that the ancient Forge Masters would infuse a part of their souls into their creations, imbuing courage, strength, and grace with each strike of the hammer. But somewhere, deep in a dwarven hall, the last of the Forge Masters is hard at work.
And we're back. First off, I just want to remind everybody to go into the chat and put Incubus dice, and for your chance to win a set of forged dice and box, and get your chance for that. We be sure to only do it once. If you enter more than once, you will be disqualified, and we will be reaching out to the winner as soon as we can. All right, to get right back into it. Job. Why do I keep calling him Job and Job? Job. I made this person.
Job.
His name's Job Job now.
Not bad.
It's only the first PC we've ruined, actually.
Yeah, you know.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Job is looking down at Female as there is now just an arrow straight between his eyes as a limpless body. Fire start to sprawl across the ground, go up the chair, go up the curtains as you guys are starting to be surrounded by fire. As a very quick reminder as what's happening. What do you guys do?
I know Dara makes sure that the box is safe.
Okay.
I don't know if Mickey has it in hand. You do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More than likely.
I'm like, all right, let's get out of here. Dara starts to walk for the door. Well, maybe
It's
walk with a purpose out the door, and I'm like, not this again. And Dara maybe looks back at Job and wants to see the Job state.
Job is holding just a bucket of water and looks down, looks at the fire around, looks and puts the water on a table to his left and just starts to follow as... Are you guys all leaving, staying?
Hastily.
Okay. You guys all...
Magvar is still standing there.
Then the fire starting to... Right around heat is starting to come in and Job walks up to you. Where do I go? As the fire is just roaring around you, smoke is starting to fill, it's starting to get even lower, the vision's becoming obscured.
Okay, so Magvar is having like a deep flashback. He's like not unlocking a core memory, but like probably pulling details from a memory that he's done his best to repress. And he remembers a moment when he was wrapped up in his own his own interests, the things that, you know, like when you just want to play video games, you don't want to do homework, right? Like to him, this crystal is like his homework, and his video games, and he remembers like a time when he was wrapped up in that and not doing the thing that he should have done, and he like recalls back to the day that his siblings were destroyed, like the hamlet that they lived in were destroyed, and he wasn't there because he wasn't fulfilling his purpose. He wasn't like taking care of the things that he was supposed to, and they were destroyed. And his lack of access to them and to their information is why he doesn't know anything about the dragon shard that lives in his chest, right? And so now he's looking at it, and he sort of remembers like the day when the hamlet was destroyed in like a rain of fire, and the Warforged, who was his protector, kept trying to get him to move and to do the things that he was supposed to do, and ended up dying in that like magical conflagration. That massive Warforged was killed, melted, disintegrated, deatomized, if you will, and the remnant of it, of that Warforged, is the right arm that Magvar had to like replace his arm with. It's sort of like one of the few reminders that he has of that, like that period, and now realizes that he has once again been drawn into like the fancy shiny things, like, ooh, let's solve this puzzle instead of like paying attention to the world around him.
So what you are recalling, the dust and debris, the loud ringing that is just shook your consciousness in this flashback, and what you see is your old compatriot grabbing you and shaking you. He goes, Magsev, 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 and it just starts to turn and to change, and you hear, sir, 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 we got
Magvar comes back to it, and there's like a light rekindled in his eyes, as if he's like not looking through the whole scenario, and he looks down at Torque on the ground, sees him as a warforged, as like a person that is him, and sees this like older model warforged that is him, and he stoops and grabs Torque's body with his regular arm, his small arm, and then sort of like scoops Job up with his big arm, and just like tries to carry the both of them out of this like big firestorm.
Okay, I'd say that Job kind of like embraces it, and you hear as you grab him with one arm, and through the smoke and embers, a charred, burning body that's kind of has flames still flickering on it. You reach down with your normal sized arm and just start dragging him out, as you have almost like a toddler. When you're holding him like in your arm like this, you have Job like this, and you're dragging the body out, and you guys all watch as Magvar comes carrying Job and Fumel or Torque out of this burning building. So, what do you all do? As Job.
Job.
Job is the name
Just
now.
roll with it.
You know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
We can go back and forth.
Right. Job.
Yeah,
Job. As you come out, he's like, I can walk, sir. I can walk, sir. And
Magvar's just silent, like operating, fulfilling a task, like has no words.
You see, Job is kind of like kicking his legs. His arms don't work in like the same fluid movement, so he can't really like push himself off of you, but he's like trying to kick to get out of your arm, and it takes a minute for your arm, you to relay the information to the reality of your arm. Even if you're not conscious in the moment, you're like, oh yeah, and you drop Job, and he just looks around. I have no home, as he looks back. What do you all do?
I think Dara notices that Magvar is a little, like, dissociative, I guess, to say.
That is exactly what it is.
To say exactly what it is, I guess. And, walks up and, again, just grabs the one finger and is, like, kind of trying to ground him a little bit and just says, hey, remember what I said? Us now. This is home. Not before. Now. You're here now.
Dara, I am a weapon, and bad people are coming to use me as my purpose.
We are not going to let that happen. And you are not a weapon. You are a person.
How are we to stop them? They've taken Hellbent. What are any of us without Hellbent?
We are a strong family. We are like this. And she, like, rather than having just like one finger, tries to kind of like, really like that like grounding squeeze that I'm not sure you can even feel. But like, maybe you can see how tight like the veins start popping out of my arm. And I'm just like, you're like this. We can do this. We will find Hellbent. You will be okay. We will be okay. And we will get our home back.
Don't let them take me before we figure out what this is. And he taps like, tink, tink, tink.
You're not going anywhere. I promise. I'm not gonna let that happen. And Dara, like, maybe just touches Magvar's chest. like right, on the plate. It's like, we will figure this out.
Job goes over to female's body, and the top of it is completely, a lot of his facial features obviously has an arrow between his eyes. He's got flames that have crawled up his legs. A lot of his torso seems to be scorched but not asunder. And Job goes and starts going through his pouches. He goes and grabs a picture of the family that's in his pouch, and he puts it in. He has a little pocket in a vest he wears. He puts it in there. He finds a little parchment note. He folds it up. You can find more use for this.
Magvar takes the note and unwraps it and then turns it a little bit to read it with Dara.
Okay. The note specifically says it's basically like an appointment card, and it says from Biblio Tattoo, airship travel into the Mournlands, 3-day travel, cost 50 gold. And this was about a week ago.
You said 3-day travel?
Yeah.
And it was from 3 days ago?
No. It was about a week ago.
Oh, a week ago. I apologize.
It was a 3-day travel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm processing some stuff, man. My details are getting fuzzy.
Get your numbers right, math robot. No.
I think who has the box?
Mickey.
Probably Mickey.
Mickey, what is this?
Can I inspect it?
Yeah, as you look and you grab the box, it's a bronze box with gears that go all around the edges. There's a inlaid dragon's eye that is on top of it, and it seems to be rusted and it has some screws that aren't completely intact. But that's what you see. It's about that size, and as it's moved, there is a small rattling that happens inside of it. And if you're welcome to, that is a legitimate puzzle box. If you want to take the time to try and work with that, we can continue doing stuff while you're trying to do that. And if you're okay with that, that is totally up to you, Mickey.
I don't know, but I'm gonna get it open.
Would Dara recognize this as something that is maybe sold in the Mournlands?
No, not to your recollection. Oh, in the Mournlands.
Mm-hmm.
Your history. Give me a history check with disadvantage.
Can I give the help action?
Sure.
Cool. I've got a +5.
Oh. Whoa.
Oh, sorry, +4. My apologies.
Wait, go.
Well.
Wait.
It was a 14.
14.
Oh, well, this one was a 3. So that is a 9 total.
9? It looks like some sort of contraption that contains things, but not very much.
It's a box.
It's a box.
It holds things.
Got a good old eye on it.
So, as Mickey begins to look and tinker and kind of move around with it, what is the plan? What are you guys doing? What are you guys going to do?
I think, Dara, after reading this appointment card, looks up at the sun. Is it still daytime?
Is it daytime? Yes. Yeah, it's like...
As in, is Biblio Tattoo still open?
Yeah, it's midday.
Okay. So we have to go back and see Drillidus. Can bring this appointment card. Ask more about Torque. And take him up on his offer about a ship to the Mournlands. And Dara, maybe shivers a little bit, even saying the Mournlands.
Okay. Is that what you guys would like to do?
I'm gonna put the box back in my pocket for a minute.
Okay. All right.
What are we doing with Job?
Job comes over. I have no home. I don't know where I will go. What do you do?
He's an artist. We're all artists. Not everything that was constructed for a certain purpose has to fulfill that for the rest of their time on this realm.
You said you lost your purpose. What did you do when trying to find it?
I was alone for a long time.
Alone. I'm used to that.
You don't have to be alone.
He looks around at all of you. He looks at female on the ground. I think I'd like to be. And he literally just turns and starts walking.
Mickey is still trying to do the puzzle box, but they can't see it.
Okay.
In his pocket.
Awesome.
It's not the greasy pocket.
It's not the greasy pocket.
Maybe
it might help, actually.
Maybe it should be the greasy pocket.
I'm gonna say, lube that shit up.
There's
Might
some
be easier.
salami on there.
Oh my God.
It may come to that.
All right. So, what are you all doing? You make your way to Bibliotattoo, it sounds like?
I think so.
All right. You guys, it takes just a few minutes to guide your way through town. Is there any conversations leading up to getting to Bibliotattoo as you come up and you start to see the large church-like structure, Victorian in stature, and multiple pillars that come to a large, probably 50-foot tower? Is there any conversations, anything you'd like to do leading up?
I want to walk next to Knarf, actually. And say, you haven't been in this industry long, but you got an edge to you. Reminds me of a lot of artists I know that have been in the game much longer than you have.
Lots of things remind people of lots of things.
Well, all I'm saying is you might be absolute shit at setting up your station, but you might just have the teeth to be a tattooer. It might come down to you and I figuring out how to finesse this situation. So you're Silver Tongue, in my experience dealing with old, rickety-ass tattooers, I think we can crack this guy. If you think that's about you, it is.
Yokai. There are some similarities here that we both have, and I know you've watched me, and I know you've seen things that other people don't. Just know that when the time comes, you have all of my resources at your disposal.
Starting to believe that. Still gonna have to earn it, though. I kind of give him like a big pat on his hairy shoulder or whatever I can reach. I don't know how tall you are.
6 foot.
Yeah. And kind of just keep walking like shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. And I say under my breath, all things in time.
It's around that time that you guys start to walk up to the familiar door in a different light. Now you see the beautiful painting and mural that goes across the sprawling building. On the front, the sign that used to say closed, come back tomorrow, says open to the public. You guys go up, you grab the doorknob, start to open the door, and you look inside and there's beautiful light crashing in from different directions. The lanterns illuminate the entire area. You see now, and at night it seemed, even though there was light, it had a different feel. And now, where the bodies that, took up the sides of the walls had an eerie feeling, and the hands that were tattooed in jars across gave a macabre, corpse-like feeling. it seems that something about it seems educational, informative. You know, you look around and you see that the bodies that line the wall that are in these almost examinations, where it's just skin planted to it. You see the stories almost told by the artwork on these bodies, where these people have spent hours, days, possibly weeks worth of time just sitting for these tattoos that they've gotten. You see some that has a whole dragon that goes across the body, winding down, and then it seems like it's holding orbs and crawling up the body on the other side. You see on the other side that there's it's just a tree that comes along, and it has similar blossoms that are coming to the side. A couple moments go by as you're standing in the foyer, and a familiar voice starts ringing through as he comes around the corner. Oh, nice to see you again.
Wish we could say the same.
And now he is no longer in, the garb as seen before. You see in front of you, he is in almost swashbuckling gear. He has nice boots on. He's got a tri-cornered hat and a large leather jacket, and he has like a triangle encompassed necklace that comes around, and at the bottom of it, it has just a little symbol that goes across. He's, yeah, I didn't think I'd see you so fast. What can I help you with?
I give you just a little bit of time to change out your jammies and into something a little bit more professional.
Yeah.
My home was being broken into. I'd at least put on some pants before I greet the thieves.
Yeah. I don't get dressed up for anybody anymore. But, different strokes, I guess. I prefer about 4.2.
Oh.
Hey, 4.2 is a good throw.
That's a good throw.
That's 3.2.
I can't.
We're running at 5.5.
Jesus Christ.
Right?
5.5.
We're measuring
Stairs.
needle steps.
Yeah, like stairs. Normal person.
It's like we all started actually speaking Draconic. Shut the fuck up.
Dara and Kassidy both are like, okay.
We're all like, ha ha ha, laughing at our stupid tattooer jokes. Get it, Stroke?
And I'm like,
Laughs in tatter.
Yeah.
A couple seconds go by just in this. You also hear in the back corner, you hear some walking around. And as you're speaking with him, you also catch a few of you in the back that there's another tall individual, probably verging almost 7 foot tall. And what you see from the back at first is just a long, like light, like washed black trench coat, that wide shoulders. You see a little bit of smoke coming from front, because all you see from the back is a very long, like oval hat that brims around the head and 2 ears that pop out of the hat. But, speaking in front of you, Drillidus, he's like, welcome to Biblio Tattoo. Would you like an education? I'm sure that's why you're here today, because you don't like talking to me.
He's not wrong. And we already have one puzzle box here. Will you be just as complicated this time too?
Are you sitting there messing with the puzzle box?
It's in my pocket. You guys can't see it.
Okay.
You know you have it.
Yeah.
I know, just something you were talking about. Like,
Yeah.
you can't see it.
Yeah. That depends. Puzzle box, you say? Why don't you tell me what it is you're here for? Obviously, if we're going to have the same circular conversation as yesterday, we're both going to end with this being very aggravatable.
I won't waste your time, or more valuably mine. We're missing a person that's very, very important to us, somebody that we have a lot of respect for.
Hellbent. I also have a high respect for her.
As most do, especially in our line of work. So let's cut to the chase. You said you haven't seen her in a while. She's missing for a long time. Because you haven't seen her? She hasn't come around?
No, not since she left.
When was the last time you saw her? You speak as if you're old friends. Seem seemingly don't care about each other.
Tell me more about this box.
I don't have a box in my possession, so I cannot speak to it. I thought we were having a conversation that you wanted to have, so put.
I like stories that go back and forth. I like to hear stories that, I'm not giving information for free, no more than I would yesterday. If you're asking the same questions about the same people and expecting a different answer, I expect something. I have a museum here. I love, and he kind of gestures, every story that these tell without speaking. I love the information that we learn as he gestures towards there's a wall of different types of machines. You see that there's magnets that are just connected together, and you see that there's 2 crystals that are configured in different ways. You see crystals lined up in a tube with a needle going in and out. He goes, I like the progress of the information that we gain over the years. I like to believe that if information is just outwardly given, is it really sacred? Sure, some could argue that if we just held information to ourselves, that the medical field, technological field would be far previous to where we are now. There's something special about, knowing something someone doesn't.
He's not wrong.
I have a very interesting story if you want to hear about how I got these. And you guys have seen Yokai mess with her tattoos before in almost a frustrated manner. You might have not. She kind of takes a step back. She's met a changeling before, I assume.
Of course.
We can change everything about ourselves. Absolutely everything. Voices, height, gender, personalities, personas. Watch this. And I immediately change into my alter male tattooer persona.
Okay.
Who's a riot. He's a super fun guy. So much better at tattooing immediately. He just has so much more knowledge. Just, and he just makes taller. It's just line work is crispier. I don't know what it is. Just as soon as I change him, he's better at everything. And I know it. Unequivocally.
I've heard that sometimes changelings who change form immediately get better. But more so, probably people just treat them different.
Possibly. I changed back because I was in my normal kind of tattooer, dark hair.
He does notice one thing. He's like, why didn't you change your tattoos?
So he noticed. These long, kind of swirling black tribal animals all over Yokai do not change when she changes. Because that's some of that information we were talking about, right?
Of course.
And then she changes into her changeling form that you guys don't see very often, where she has stark white eyes, pupilless, pale skin with splotches of flesh tone around her, and this long flowing hair that's kind of wraps effortlessly around her shoulders. And she kind of steps forward with these almost unnerving eyes, and she goes, I tangled with an old man like you once.
You see him, at this point, his demeanor of almost highbrow, of condescending has changed, though it may still be there, to deep intrigue of what you're telling him. He's doesn't notice the insult. He's just staring at your tattoos in you. But go ahead.
And I look and I go, I change myself into a being that looks much like Knarf. I don't quite have it down perfectly.
So Knarf is covered in tattoos. Do the tattoos that you have been cursed with continue to cover the tattoos that are there?
Yes.
So he looks and he's like, interesting.
And I kind of brush back a little bit of my hair, and you can see where one of them kind of swirls up and around my eye. You know,
what is the name?
This is an interesting story.
Who did that to you?
Well,
he looks over.
Now we have something to talk about.
He's literally just staring.
And I kind of look at you, and you're kind of met with an almost perfect version of yourself, but some things in that uncanny valley don't really have it. And I kind of walk kind of clopping up to you a little bit, because I've never done this in front of you, especially not to yourself.
I see. Impressive.
He's looking at both of you.
And I kind of drop my phone and go back to my normal tattooer, brown hair, kind of olive-colored skin, and kind of come back to him and I go, A name for a name?
A name for a story. What was your name, son?
I kind of like look over at Mickey, who's like just fumbling endlessly in his pocket, kind of zoned out, and I kind of.
What was that?
What is your name?
Mickey.
I understand you don't like me. I'm not very likable, and that's okay. But I'm sorry for what you're about to hear. Because if you are who I think you are, I don't know if you like what you know. You see him go and grab his pipe. He packs it real deep. Lights it and drags. How about a name and a location? Half payment up front. You give me a name, tell you the story, you tell me where he's at.
Fair enough.
What is his name?
His name is Olev.
You see him immediately grab a piece of paper. Olev? Olev. Interesting. How much do you know about Hellbent? You know, can almost guarantee I've known her way longer than anybody here. Probably longer than some of you have been alive. And he kind of like jests at Mickey a little bit. I knew Hellbent because we learned to tattoo together in the seedy underbelly. Of Karnath. You see, I did a lot of trading in the back in the day. Yeah, some legitimate, some not so much. But Hellbent, now Hellbent, was always doing the work of the city and the principality and doing the best for the war so that Karnath could rise above. But she liked to drink and have a good time. She was a good girl, a good woman. She would work on, and she was an amazing creator. Would teach me anything she could of, creating machines and building them in these arcane magical means. She even figured out how to make magical tattoos. She also learned how to make very horrible and horrendous things that she may not want to create. But sometimes you got to do what comes up the chain of command. You see, Hellbent worked for Karnath. As some of you, I'm sure, are a little aware of. You see him kind of shrink back. I'm just going to get to brevity here. She was making Warforged regularly for Karnath. All different kinds, different, builds. And she would always speak of this, it was getting more dark or more mysterious. They wouldn't tell her what she was to build, but she was to build the mechanical means to make it happen. They told her that she was going to bring back something long gone. Something that would be magical, that could turn the tides of not just this war, but bring back an entire bloodline of people. She was trying to build a way to put consciousness into Warforged, and not just their own. The arcane means of how, and he kind of gestures towards you, how you are sentient of your own well-being. It's completely out of my scope. I have no idea. I fly ships for a living. She understood. But she was trying to figure a way to put bodies in there. We could live forever, essentially. But that's not what Karnath had in mind. She built a machine to do exactly that, to bring people and put consciousness into something that was empty. And they were using it to bring back the dragon mark of death. And no one could believe her. It's been eradicated for centuries. But when she learned what it was used for, she took her prized possession, this little caravan that she'd been working on her entire life. She would always whisper, we'd be playing cards, and she'd talk about how she was figuring out how to put a little tiny dimension that was bigger on the inside. And it was all hogwash to me. I don't understand it, but she was proud of it. And when she learned that, she asked me if I could clear a passageway, make sure the guards weren't on post the next night. That was the last and only thing that she asked me to do. I gave her what a friendship should do at the cost of losing everything I had over that. Because once her and the son of the people of Karnath, of the dragon-marked houses, go missing, they start getting really curious about the pirates that are starting to come into town. So I left. And I opened this place. My passion project. I have no idea what she's doing there and why they took her. But I know that it probably has something to do with what she's created. She's been missing since. And they've been looking for her. And the boy, about 25 to 27. And when Warforged starts speaking and hearing whispers about a town being built in the Mournlands shortly after the missing time of Hellbent, as she likes to go by now, one would wonder if it truly is the Lord of Blades, an old myth and legend that the Warforged spoke about since the end of the war that's trying to take over the world. Or is it a scorned Warforged that's finally tired of humanity telling it what to do? That's all I can tell you. That's her story. Not mine to tell. But if she's gone missing, it doesn't seem like she'll be able to speak about it too much anyway, unless we do something about it.
So we know.
I'm gonna guess you need a ride.
I'm gonna ask you again. Will you help us?
You see him straighten up. He leans over, Eerie! And the individual that's kind of had his back to you just going in, he's like dusting the glass of the casings. Turns around and you see a tabaxi, furless all over, wrinkles going down the face. She got like just tattoos that go across her face and a dagger tattooed down her eye. And she walks over, very lean, it's a Sphinx tabaxi. Yes. Go ahead and start getting the ship together.
What's your name?
Eerie. I'll help you. I can only take you. Where do you want to go? I'm gonna guess the Mournlands. I don't know where this town is. Do you have any idea, any lead of where we're supposed to go?
Would Dara?
Go ahead and give me. Let's give it an insight check. We'll try and do it that way.
3.
Yeah.
Having read the journals, would I have more information?
Yeah. You got the journals and you got the appointment letter of female, excuse me.
Yes.
You haven't relayed any of the female information to him at all, so maybe there's something there.
Mm-hmm. Something for something.
Something for something.
I have journals.
Okay.
And I believe they explain more of the situation than apparently we can at the moment. If I give them to you, would you be able to fill in the gaps that we can't ourselves.
You see him give a little smile. Certainly. Let's see. I like to prove a point.
Oh.
And he reaches his hand out. Can I keep these?
Will you help us?
He holds his hand out too. He takes them. Need these then. As he starts flipping through. I hope you're not afraid of heights. As he starts flipping through all of these. It is not a landing platform that I will be dropping you off on. You're gonna have to fly.
With this?
Oh, that helps you not die from falling.
Featherfall.
He gives you each a Featherfall token. As
Very cool.
Goes around. One use. Consider it a parachute as you jump out of my plane, because I am not stopping on your behalf.
Actually,
I said plane, my ship. I just said ship instead of plane.
Actually, I appreciate your kindness.
He starts flipping through, and it's like off the bat. He's like, closes it. Does that have something to do with your female?
Not anymore.
What? Not anymore. Not have nothing to do with him. I had to take him about 3 days into the Mournlands last week.
Seems like you never really came home.
I didn't think he would until he came back home a few days ago. And I was surprised to see that, honestly. He came to me, he was speaking about and trying to go to this city where they were. He had no idea where it was, but he knew the direction. I got a few days in, it ended up being too much. The storms, couldn't take it anymore. So he decided to go on foot. And by God, to see him come back into town after me dropping him 3 days in the Mournlands, it was very surprising. I can take you where I took him.
I think that's where we should go. Also, was he always shit at cards?
No, he was amazing. He was one of the best at Kel's Conquest, actually. He would win tournaments regularly. He had one of the best decks that exist.
Nice.
All right. So, anything else before we get aboard?
Dara looks at me and kind of nods and is hoping that Mickey maybe asks about the box, considering he seemed to be very interested in it, Drillidus, but kind of waits for Mickey's call on it.
Mickey looks at Dara, looks at Drillidus, keeps looking at Drillidus.
Job job.
Easier name. He puts his hands back in his regular pockets and turns and walks away.
Okay. All right. Give me about an hour to get the ship together. We're gonna fly today. All right. You ready? As you see him go, and he immediately he blows out the light. We're gonna close early today. He goes up to the front and closes the door. And then as he blows out the light, you hear as this little creature comes up and around. He's like, hey, my shop. I'm done for the day. You want to keep it on? Go ahead. And you watch that. Brax goes over, grabs a match, and it's huge compared to him. He goes and puts it back in the candle. All right, you take care of it then. It's your fucking problem. As he goes and you open. Oh, excuse me, my legs. So Drillidus gets up, starts walking to his back, and as you guys follow him or anything? Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So you guys just start following as he goes to the back of the shop, and you guys are watching all the sprawling artwork that's just a huge history. You're learning about it as you're just walking through. He goes and opens, the back door, and behind the church and this like gated hangar-like facility, you guys see just a massive airship. Currently, it sits. Let me make sure I do this right. From the back end is what you see. It's probably about. Actually, can we get the map on real quick? Awesome, man. So from the back, you see that it's this sprawling, this boat-like airship that has tail fins, and it's currently being suspended on two brackets. There we go. Thank you. That hold it up, and it looks like there should be a ring going around, but currently it's empty. All right. So from Beetle and Grimm, this thing is awesome.
Cool.
All right. Make
Dude, this
some room.
this shit is tight, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yep.
This is the Beetle Grimm airship map.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. So he goes and takes you on board, shows you around just a little bit. There is, you see, as he gets up to the captain's wheel.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's me.
You do your thing. As he gets up to the captain's wheel, you see him go and he grabs it. And as he grabs it, you watch from the back of his neck, you see here just a glowing start to occur. You watch as like this iridescent shine comes from the back of him, and then you guys kind of lean over and you look, and there's a dragon mark that lights up on the back of his head.
Ooh.
And then as he does, you guys watch as a flame shoots. The circle that's encompassing this entire thing just ignites an arcane flame. All right. We have about 30 minutes. I think Eerie is going to go ahead and get the last little bit together. Do you have any questions? You guys ever flown before? Come on. Don't be so sad. We're going on a trip in our favorite airship, flying through the sky.
Is there any alcohol on this?
Is there?
You think I fly without alcohol?
That is all I needed to hear.
All right. So he goes
There's
and
rolling barrels of it.
just rolling barrels and barrels out.
Yep.
Dude.
So he goes and grabs a couple of jars, brings them out, puts them in front of you. It's just this clear liquid all the way through it. He goes, consider it water. It's gonna be put hair on your chest, make it real good time.
I think I have enough already, but thank you.
All right. So after a moment goes by, he shows your guys the barracks. I believe we'll find. I believe there's a second map as well that goes like and shows every layer. I'll have to go through. These things are super cool.
It's on the back.
We have the trunks around.
It's on.
Don't worry about it. It's not necessary right now. Just to give you the lay of the land, as you guys go around, you see that this is beautifully ornate. All like every piece of this, the wood is immaculate. The gold inlay goes around the banisters. Even at the front, you guys stand at the bow as the ignition of the fire on the sides starts to rise. You guys slowly after a short bit. You guys get about 100, 200, 300, 400 feet in the air. As he's like, I think we can go now. And all of a sudden it starts to move forward. And from your height, you just looking over the edge, you see Griffinclaw has shrank and shrank and shrank. You see the incubus. You see the incubus sitting in the distance. Reminder of where you came from. As you start to sail into the distance to the Mournlands. Is there anything you guys would like to do in this meantime? as you get aboard the ship, as you're walking around, anything you want to investigate or anything along those means, you see that Eerie is kind of going around and adjusting different portions of it. There's a sail on the back left, and she just goes over and you see her tying ropes, making sure that it's taut at all times. We have about a day till we get to the edge. You'll know. At this time, it is probably getting 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. What would you guys like to do?
Magvar takes this time mostly to like stand close to the railing, and when other members of the group like get close to him, or he sort of stops them and interviews them with like a maybe a question that might seem odd to some, but when if Yokai walks by, he's like, Yokai, what is it like to feel wind on your face?
Kind of like this. I'm like,
yeah, let's say
right now it's a little uncomfortable. It's hot. It stings a little. It's not always good. Not every sensory detail is pleasant. It's hard to describe. But on days like this, I kind of wish I couldn't feel it.
The wind is crashing against your face. You even see birds like down below. You're higher than any of them. As you look down, there's large birds just flying around. It smells pretty good. It actually, from the heat that you're used to experiencing on the ground, feels pretty good up here, actually. The wind is kind of super refreshing.
Because it's better than being in the hot, stagnant desert air.
Eerie walks up to you all. Hello, my name is Irene. You can call me Eerie. It's wonderful to meet you.
Likewise, as long as this airship stays wet.
Stays wet?
Drinks.
Oh, I thought you meant you wanted to swap the deck. Yes.
All right.
One moment, please. As she comes out, leaves for a second, comes back with almost a tray of drinks. I'm not a ship hand, but I'll serve you all once because you're guests.
I'm no sailor. I feel we're both doing something for the first time.
She looks over and, are you messing with that kind of in the open at this point? No? Okay. Just making sure.
They wish.
Have you made any progress?
Maybe.
You as Andy?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Do I get to do
okay.
You can do all the things. You're trapped.
I don't believe it.
IRL.
Knarf takes the 2 decks that he has from Fumel, and he goes to find a place to sit and walks past Magvar first. And as I'm like, my plan is to decipher these decks and make one fantastic one from the 2.
Interesting. You have a pretty juvenile understanding of the game, but you caught on super quick. So let's call this what do you think that would be? A sleight of hand, intelligence?
He's trying to learn the rules.
He's trying to.
Something I would say intelligence, and you're trying to play a set.
I'm trying to. Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to manipulate the deck to make a better one. Like
do you have proficiency in a gaming set?
Oh yeah.
Chess.
Oh, we'll just call it roll 10 plus your intelligence modifier. Okay. I'm sorry. So roll, then add your intelligence modifier and your proficiency modifier.
Okay. So when I'm gotcha, that works.
As you guys watch as Knarf goes and gets the, is it 2 or 3 decks that you have at this point, Knarf?
I only took 2. I grabbed his and mine.
Did you say a D10?
D20.
I was looking for a 10.
Right, cool. Yeah, roll D20, add your intelligence and your proficiency.
Alright, add my intelligence. Okay, gotcha. So, alright, intelligence. So that's 1. And then the proficiency, where do I find that?
At the very top.
Should be 3, I think, at this point.
Proficiency bonus plus 2.
Okay, plus 2.
Oh, plus 2.
11.
11? You don't understand the minute details of it quite yet. You find some nice ones that have cool art that you kind of like better. You're like, this isn't a bad card. I won't go ahead and throw it in here. So you may not have made an amazing deck. You may not have made a worse deck, but you made a deck that's newly yours.
Not quite there yet, and I can tell. But soon, this is going to make sense.
Right. So, a few hours go by as the sun starts to crawl to an end. Watching it from this height is quite the sight, as the horizon is still met with clouds and plains as the sun starts to creep down, getting darker and darker. On the opposite end, it starts to, this night sky that starts to appear is brighter than it normally is. It's not obscured by the same level of clouds. There's no light pollution to obscure your view. It's beautiful. It's full of stars as you look up. You look ahead, it's black in the distance. How he knows where you're going, you have no idea. But,
oh shit, when we look up, do we see is there a constellation called like the Dragon Above?
Yeah, yes there is.
Can we see it?
Yeah, roll me a perception.
Everyone goes, look. Stars.
It's a 1.
Oh, you point at the moon and you're like, look at that star.
Oh, no.
I believe the Eberron has multiple moons, actually. I can't remember. I feel like it does. But either way, no, it is such a jumbled mess that you can't identify the constellations, as well as like you're not used to seeing this many stars, you know. Eberron has been such engulfed in magical and arcane nature that the technological advances that cities use to make sure that everything's being built in this economic system has lost some of the natural beauty that the world holds. Dilidris comes down from the wheel. It's like, oh, I hit the hay. I'll put my PJs on. And if we'll get back at it, we should be meeting the wall about 10 o'clock in the morning. You'll want to be
wall?
Up. How much do you know about the Mournlands, Warforged? Excuse me. I don't know if I've even grabbed the names of my people on my ship. May I ask what your name is?
My name is Magvar.
Magvar. It's nice to meet you. I'm Dilidris, as you know. Kind of looks around. Yourself?
I'm called Yokai.
Yokai. Nice to meet you. Mickey. It's okay.
Mickey turns his back to him.
Yourself?
Believe it or not, he said more than he usually does. Right enough.
I wouldn't take him to be very outspoken.
Yeah.
Doesn't run in the family. Yourself?
Dara Darksbane.
Dara? Darksbane. It doesn't ring a bell, but it's nice to meet you. I'm gonna go head to bed. Feel free to grab any ale. Consider it complimentary. Okay?
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
I tattoo one back. I didn't even actually tattoo him. I hung out with a biker for 10 minutes. Now I'm Hulk Hogan.
How old does Dara perceive Drillidus to be?
Ooh. Go ahead and roll me an insight.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
Ooh.
Dirty 20.
It's really the best kind of 20, even though we...
The dirty 20.
So he seems to be a full elf. And
Seems like ancient.
I'll say, given the level of age that he shows, and not just a couple hundred years old, he's probably been through a lot, if not most of the war, seen its end, seen history rise and fall, seen the rise of the Warforged and of the technological advances itself. Might even be someone new that he flies airships. In retrospect to his life, at least. So, I don't know if that helps you out with your question.
So Dara then, maybe before he goes to bed, says, could I bother you with one simple question?
As he starts to turn away to walk into his captain quarters, he stops and turns around. Sure.
Before the last war, back in Sire, did you know a woman by the name of Gildy?
He looks around, kind of thinks. He looks at you. I'm sorry, Mourner. I know no woman by that name.
As Dara hears Mourner, her fists clench. But she doesn't want to cause trouble. She just exhales, turns around, and rejoins her party. And grabs the flask. Just.
At the same time, he goes to the captain quarters.
I was curious if I knew what kind of elf he was.
No, not from. It's kind of hard to gather from his attire. Not high elf. Maybe wood elf? Not dark elf.
Before he leaves, can I ask him a question?
He's kind of has his hand on the door. What is he gonna ask?
Would you happen to have any art supplies?
He has his hand on the door. Downstairs, you'll find anything you like.
Find it I shall. Thank you.
All right. As he, good night, goes in, and you hear a slam of the door. You guys are left in a silent night, just met with the rumming sound of the flaming engine that circles you, and is also lighting the area around you. The wind crushing by your ears. What do you guys do? What conversations do you have?
Is Mickey pretty distant?
I would say so.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
I just mean physically distant. Are you keeping to yourself?
A little bit.
So, I think, Magvar tries to move across the ship to find Mickey.
Pretty easy. You see him. He's kind of just leaned over the edge of the banister on the side of the ship where you guys have been at the bow. He's just kind of leaned over the ship, looking down.
Can I tell us Magvar approaching?
By the feet, by the foot, yeah. yeah, you can.
I let him see that I'm playing with the puzzle over the railing.
Mm-hmm.
Over the railing?
I'm just not dangerously.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. Mickey, I didn't come to talk about the box. And he gets very, very close to you, like right up on you. So his metal face is right next to your face.
Are you sure? Because we could talk about the box.
I think that you want to talk about the box so that we don't talk about what's hiding in here. And then he boops your chest.
Big finger, small finger.
Big finger. Big finger?
Big finger?
Big finger. Big finger. Big finger.
Mickey gives a look at Magvar, but he's trying not to look at Magvar's shards.
Mm-hmm.
But he's looking at them for sure. Maybe a little more concerningly than usual.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mickey, that man was talking about a baby who is as old as you are. Are you that baby?
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I'm trying to Magvar it. I apologize. That's fucking ridiculous.
You're killing it.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, if I am, not anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I believe everything he says.
I don't know that I do either, but if you know what you believe.
Do you think the things he said about you are true?
I don't know either. I think that I was built to be a weapon, and people want me to be a weapon, but I'm not always a weapon. I don't want to always be a weapon.
You know, you could just be Magvar. That'd be okay too.
Okay, Mickey.
Okay.
What's in the box?
I'm not sure yet. I'll tell you when I do.
Okay, Mickey.
Okay, Magvar.
Okay, Mickey.
I knew he was gonna win that
one. Would you like to roll an intelligence check to get a clue for that at all?
More than anything.
Cheater. Oh wait, can I give him if he's doing that in front of me, can I give can I give the help action?
Yes, you may, before I know the number.
Okay. I didn't see what it is either, so I'm not sure. Wait, what do you want me to add to it?
It'd be your modifier for an intelligence.
Intelligence?
Yeah. Or I'd say Tinkerer. Do you have a Tinkerer? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So use your Tinkerer skill. And then you can add...
My intelligence modifier would be a +2.
Okay.
I got like a 25.
Oh my god. Oh. Okay. More than a clue. You're looking at it and...
Here are instructions.
Yeah. Just opens.
It's funny because, Magvar is speaking about, not trying to be always what you were. But, you're looking at it, and this is a box. It's obviously meant to contain something. And then you realize it's broken. You won't be able to solve this by trying to break it down in an intellectual level, but it's still doing what it was meant to do, and that's hold what this is. You know what this needs, Mickey? Some percussion assistance.
I think it's missing something.
Mickey, something inside that box might be very valuable.
Is there one way to find out?
Okay, Mickey.
Okay, Magvar. I'm gonna turn around and
what do you do?
Blow it up.
Cool.
Oh, what would you like to do? What is it your goal with this box?
I think what I want to do actually is I want to take out my tag gat.
Okay.
My tag gun tap machine. Yeah.
Gun tap machine.
That's a lot of words in a row.
Yeah.
Gun tap machine.
That also shoots bullets. It's a game. Just a joke. Shut up. I'm gonna take out a couple shells and I'm gonna unscrew them and pull out some of the powder, and I'm gonna try to create a little folded up piece of paper.
Okay.
And sprinkle the powder into it, and try to slide it in to the tiniest little cracks. I'm noticing myself and Mickey that there is like these slight imperfections in certain sides of it. There's like tiny little bevels on only two sides of opposite sides of this box. So Mickey tries to like put like a little bit of piece of paper with some gunpowder in it, and he's gonna create almost like a little wick that like kind of sets both sides off to go off at the same time.
Nice. So small combustion, enough to knock shit loose.
Yes.
Awesome. So, where do you put it for this? I'm just curious. Or is it just like on the ground? Don't need anything crazy.
I think Mickey like gets it like really delicately all set, and then like puts it down like very gently, like kind of how he watches Magvar do things.
Okay.
And he kind of mimics that kind of careful precision. Putting it down, making sure that nothing gets interrupted that he just set up.
Nice. You reach down, and grab your box of matches. Strike one. You light it gingerly, or do you just drop it on there?
Everything I do is ginger.
Oh, yeah. So mimicking the way that you've seen Magvar set up his needles, it is you hold the box, you hold the match, strike it, you look at Magvar, raise your eyes, light it. It's very sharp, it's very loud, but you look and the box is still together. Have you figured out how to open this?
Not exactly it, no.
Smack the bitch.
Smack it?
Smack it.
Oh, no.
Oh, maybe not.
No.
No, do it on the table.
No.
Smack
Like,
it this
smack
way?
with your
Flat.
hands.
What?
Yep, try. Keep doing that.
Who's your dad?
Try the other side. Something happened yet?
Wait, can Kassidy try?
So I feel like something's happening. You're literally hitting it. You're manhandling.
My hand's spinning it too hard.
Ooh, ow.
Oh, she's got the touch.
Whoa! You just have to be ginger like me.
Andy's just whack, whack.
Smash it.
I got a lot of practice.
It is.
Bonk.
Ooh.
Hey, Joe.
Is this part of it too?
No, actually, that was the only. I needed something for sound.
It's
in
a
there.
bevel. I knew it.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's a bevel.
Yeah.
You're correct. So what you see in there, it's Mickey, as you go over and you adjust it and slide it open, you only see it for half a second as it shoots out right to Magvar's chest and tink, just sits on his chest. As you look down, Magvar, like you were just prepared to be shot, you see a Cerberus dragon shard just stuck, like it's shaking on your chest.
Bonk. Bonk. Just like
So I see Magvar doing that?
Yeah.
I want to go over to Magvar. Come on. I just want to touch the dragon shard.
Mm-hmm. You reach over and grab it. You feel just a slight, it's strange for how fast it moved. You should feel an intense force to get to him. As you're holding it, you definitely feel where it's trying to go. And you feel almost this raw arcane power in your hand. But
that's it.
That's about it.
Okay. Got it open. There's a dragon shard inside. Makes things.
So it like I noticed, or Magvar noticed that it has like the same like heartbeat, right?
Yeah, you look down, it is the same color, everything as the crystals in your chest. It is a Cerberus dragon shard. Cerberus, sorry.
Do we, I guess, like assemble the team before we?
I mean, I feel like they're at least looking your direction after a small explosion occurred on the head and on deck.
I would be headed to wherever Mickey is if I had an explosion. Immediately.
Not super far behind you. You kind of thought that maybe they
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
My God, Mickey's still awake.
You thought maybe they were like fiddle fucking around or something. Then you hear an explosion and definitely doing something along those lines.
I kind of just roll my eyes and look over at Dara. I'm like, let's go find the boys.
Yep. On it.
Now, while they were having their moment, I can I have gone to check for the art supplies where the person
Of course.
were?
I'll say that you go down the steps down to the lower level.
Down the steps and I hear an explosion. I just look up and go, what on earth is Nikki doing now?
So as you go down the steps, you see it's kind of like a dark cellar, the area that you go down to.
Yes.
You see a hanging lantern that's kind of creaking. And you reach up and you just twist it, and it lights a little arcane shard. And what you see ahead of you is a fantastical art room. You see about 4 or 5 easels lined up one side of the wall. You see the other side of the wall completely covered in unfinished paintings. Some of them barely started, some of them could be called finish. You see that as you come in, there's a table on the left covered in paints and, any medium that you could almost imagine is kind of not organized. Everything in here is a cluttered mess. Mm-hmm. You see there's tons of paints and everything thrown out, tubes half crinkled up. There's a why is the word not coming to me? The thing that they hold the paints on.
A palette.
Oh,
palette, thank you. There's like 4 or 5 palettes that just have caked on hardened pieces of paint on them, and that's what you see in front of you.
I think I know what sort of elf this is. But that's not important right now. What is that I paint.
Okay. So, despite the explosion upstairs, you stay downstairs. You grab some paints. You grab one of the clean easels off the ground. It's got some dust on it. And dust just goes kind of scattering, flying through the air.
Yes.
You go and put one of the canvases onto the easel.
Mm-hmm.
What is it you do?
I paint a picture, or begin to paint a picture, with emphasis on time. I want to make sure that it's, done before anything else could pop up.
Okay.
The reason I'm painting this picture is because this possibly Iranian elf, I was trained by one. Mm-hmm. That's how I learned how to paint. And something told me that he might fit the bill of someone I used to know. Not exactly, but just in kind.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing my mentor as well as I did, what I'm wanting to do is paint a picture of basically where we are in the ship, like this, the outside of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to do it in the old way that I was taught. So when he sees this, he knows that I know if that is exactly what he is.
Okay. Noted. You go and you spend... Do you work through the night? All right. You guys... Knarf has disappeared as you went downstairs. You heard him talk about some painting stuff and he disappeared. What is it that you all are doing as you are coming around to this small explosion on deck?
I'm hitting it with just like the strut, let's go get over here. And you see probably just like a little bit of smoke, not like a full Mickey, like a quarter Mickey amount of smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiny smokes.
Just tiny. And kind of with Dara and stride, I assume, I kind of walk up and I put my hand up and I go, is that the box? We're probably 5 or 10 feet away, but I can see them both kind of staring down at something small on the ground that's smoldering.
And I see it too, and I just kind of look up and look at both Magvar and Mickey. Do I notice you said something shot up to Magvar's?
Yeah, what are you guys doing with the shard at this point? You see them messing with something, or it's stuck to his chest, however it's wanting to be worked.
I think we should put it back in the box.
I'm scared.
Yeah, you guys see that he's holding. Mickey's holding.
Yeah, if you're holding it.
Mickey's holding a dragon shard.
Would Dara recognize what that is?
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say it gives enough resemblance to what you've seen Magvar hold out in the little tiny version.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna look up and see the smoke and look at Mickey. See what happened here.
Got it open.
Well, what's inside?
I'll pick up and show her. As soon as I opened it, I flew over and touched Magvar. It touched him.
Show him. And then
I
just pull like not the plate open, but I pull like my little like vestment aside.
What have you done?
I cast spell.
So, Magvar.
Cast a spell because it looks like you shot it. I kind of like pick a little bit of it up, and there's just like these little scorch marks.
Yeah.
I kind of inspect it and I go, "Where's the bullet? Did you shoot this?"
Maybe I did something to it. Yeah,
He didn't shoot it.
Because I know we're not shooting guns on a flying airship right now.
No,
right?
Not yet.
And I kind of just put the smoldery piece down and kind of wipe the soot off me and kind of like a little on you. And I look over at Magvar and I go, and then I can kind of like notice like the tension between like the two crystals.
I think Magvar said show them a second ago. And so kind of moved over.
Can we freely see it?
I like pull it over his chest and I let go. And just hits him. And I pull off and I do it like a couple times. Then I just pick it up and pick up the box and put it in. I'm gonna keep this away from him. I put it back in my pocket.
Okay. Is there anything else you all would like to do? Conversation you'd like to have before you get ready for bed? No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Can we? Oh shit. Well, we already put it back in the box, but
another time. As you guys find some quarters, get tucked in, hold sentinel, whatever it is that you do with your night. You guys get sleep. May not be good sleep, but it's rest. The next morning comes around, you start hearing a dinging bell. Ding, 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 ding. And as you all start to get dressed quickly, Knarf, you're the first one aboard. As you come up and you stretch, you rub your eyes. You fell asleep painting a little bit. Enough, not enough to get a full rest, but enough to get some sleep. As you walk up and you're rubbing your eyes, you lower them, and as you look in the distance, shivers go down your spine. Your hair crawls up your back. As you all come up and you guys look at the distance, what you see far in the distance is a gray wall billowing, huge and massive. You can't see either end. It goes from one horizon to the other. And you are not at the height of this wall. You're in an airship. And it's moving. And it's clouds. And as you get closer, you see that these clouds that take up this massive wall is moving. You see faces coming in and out of this wall. And you hear behind you, "Welcome to the Mournlands. Hold on tight." And we're going to go ahead and end that here. All right. Cool. Thank you all for watching. One more time, be sure to drop Incubus dice into the chat, and we will be getting a hold of the winner next week. And then thank you guys for watching. Be sure to, I'm super thankful for all the sponsors that make this possible. You know, we got Beatles and Grimm, we got Ink Addict, Cream, everybody who's helped create this, and I'm just so thankful for it. If you guys want, please be sure to subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you next week. Good night. Fuck yeah, brother.
Hell
yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hey, brother.